I wanted to do a quick little video on a storage unit I made for benchtop tools in my shop. I know lots of people are pressed for space and stuff like that in their shops. They've got small shops and stuff, but they still want to have bench mounted tools. So I had a hard time finding a home for a couple of benchtop tools that I had. So I built a shelf that would store two of them in a relatively small space. So what I ended up doing was I built a platform. Well, first thing I did was I found two tools that had roughly the same footprint. So I've got my rigid oscillating belt drum sander up here, and on the bottom I've got a Ryobi bench planer that I very rarely use, so it's hard to justify giving it its own space. So my solution was I built a wood box out of 3/4 inch plywood, and I put in some dividers through the middle inside there. They're hard to see, but it's right where the screw holes are. They go right through. And then I drilled a hole for a threaded rod, about a 1/2 inch threaded rod with lock nuts. And it's hard to see, but on both sides I got some thin Lazy Susan bearings, some small ones. And I sized the box based off of those. So I did those Lazy Susan bearings. I put leg bolts, 2 leg bolts in each side to help keep the sides in. There's the other Lazy Susan bearing in there. And then I just kind of did a rough sketch to make sure that when I spun it around, you take those leg bolts out, then you can flip this whole stand over. The whole stand flips over, and then you put the leg bolts in, and the tool that you're using will always be on top. So it stores everything in a small little footprint, but you have twice the tools and stuff like that. So you could build this for any sort of tools. They don't have to be the same size. I just made sense to me to get 2 tools that are roughly the same size so the base was the same. And then I just had I didn't do leg bolts, I did regular bolts with T-nuts on the bottom so that I could bolt them down a little bit more securely. I did that top and bottom, and then in the bottom here I just made a little did some magnetic lids in a little compartment for the tools, and a couple little additions and stuff for the pieces that fly out when you flip it over, because you don't want to flip it over and all of a sudden lose a bunch of stuff. So that's what I did. I do have a rough set of plans for it, for the one that I drew. So if anyone would like a copy of the set of plans, I could see how to maybe post them in the comment section or something like that. I could try to do that if someone's interested in it, just to give you a guideline, or it's not too terribly hard to figure out the size of your tools and work from there. It's pretty simple, and it saved me an awful lot of space in the past. So hope that helps someone out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe, and feel free to leave whatever comments in the comment section. I'm going to try and read all of them as much as I can and get back to as many as possible. Thank you very much.